Hello again. This is Brad with Great Western Gardens here in southwest Kansas. I mentioned in a previous video about how things really start to change on you depending on just within a few miles of each other. And I'd like to try to give you some idea of that. Like out here where I'm at, nobody's really entirely sure what zone we're actually in. The seed catalogs I get several times of the year, they'll have anything on there from 5B all the way down to 6B. Sometimes they'll just have zone 6, which is the overall consensus. But still, it just shows you that the climate can vary even from month to month. Sometimes a seed catalog I'll get will have 5B on there one month and zone 6 or 6B the next month. But the point that I'm trying to make is that it doesn't matter what anybody else tries to tell you about your conditions, where you live, as long as you yourself understand the climate and the landscape and the growing conditions that you have. If you're trying to get back to the land, well, there's nothing more imperative than you truly understand the land that you're trying to get back to. Well, for example, I thought it might be interesting to take you on a tour of my little part of the world out here. That you can see those three peaks there over the ridge. That is my house, or the top of my house. That is where Great Western Gardens is located. I'll show you more of that as it develops over the season. But out here where I'm standing is in the watershed of Mulberry Creek. It's a creek that runs between the Arkansas River towards the north and the Cimarron River to the south. Part of the area that keeps this land as fertile as it is. Of course, it's October now. Things are starting to go dormant and not as green as they have been throughout the year, but that's just the way things go. And the world, again, as I've said several times before, the world literally changes right here at this spot, both historically and geographically. See this road right here, gravel road, that is, of course, its legal name is 112 Road, but that follows the 100th meridian, going all the way north and south. Actually, on the west side of the road over there, as it goes down to the road ditch, if you were standing there with your GPS, that would say 100 degrees north longitude. Now, for historical interest, that goes all the way back to when this part of North America was divided up between colonial empires, and this side was France. The other side of this road off to the west, that was all part of Spain. So right now I'm actually standing in what was the Louisiana Purchase, and on that side that remained part of the Empire of Spain, and over the years that was Mexico, and then for a brief time there was a strip of land that ran all the way up to the Arkansas River, several miles north of here. There was a strip that was still part of the Republic of Texas. You continue on that road about 9 miles to the north, you will come to Dodge City, Kansas, queen of the cow towns. It still is. There's more beef shipped out of this part of the country than just about anywhere else. And those tiny little black dots up there on the hill, that's just a few of the cattle that are out here. A moment ago there was a whole bunch more down here in the draw, but they're looking for greener pastures over the rise there. Now, you will find, if you choose to do some of your own research, that the vast majority of Western historians, when they're pressed to define what is the West as a geographical region, the cookie cutter answer to that is Dodge City to the Sierras. And when they say that, they're using Dodge just as a very significant historical and cultural landmark on the 100th meridian here. Now, those of more environmental spin, at least historians, they'll back that up a little bit towards the east, and they'll say the West truly begins on the 98th meridian. And if you're traveling west across the Great Plains, you'll really see that. It's almost as if somebody snapped a chalk line along that line, and the world really does change there. So if you're driving west across Kansas, Nebraska, or the Dakotas, you will see about the same time you hit the 98th meridian that your tree line really disappears. That's where your tall grass prairie gives way to the short grass prairie, which is what you see out here. A lot of buffalo grass, little blue stem, that sort of thing. It's also where the elevation starts going straight uphill as you make your way west up towards the Rocky Mountains. So even back 500 years ago, people understood how much the world really changed right here. You know, this road was considered the western boundary for the United States for many, many years. You get west of that, you were on your own. Another thing, I guess, I call my place Great Western Gardens, is if you continue on down that road west about another mile, you will come to Highway 283, which, as it continues south all the way into South Texas, to a large degree follows the Great Western Cattle Trail. That's where all those tens of millions of cattle were brought up here during the cattle drive years. That was the western branch for the Chisholm Trail. Oliver Loving and Charles Goodnight used parts of that on their way to making Dodge City famous. There's actually spots out there where you can still see the ruts from all the cattle as they tramp through here, packing that dirt down into just about cement. There's spots out there where the grass still doesn't hardly grow because of all those cattle that walked over it over the years. As a matter of fact, when my great-grandfather homesteaded out here back in 1905, this was all horse ranch. If you see that clump of trees, that's actually about 1.25 miles over there. That was the original homestead out here. Plotted that in 1905, and then bought some acreage from the old horse ranch. He really made a go of it, and he actually had to bring in dirt, topsoil from other areas of the farm to fill in the ruts that the cattle had tramped down that he couldn't even farm. So that's sort of a historical background to what I'm doing out here. Looking towards the past really helps you understand the present and helps you plan for the future. And that's a journey that I look forward to taking, and I invite you all to take it right along with me as we continue on from this point. With that, once again, this is Brad with Great Western Gardens, and we'll see you next time.